So, the Beast of Beckley is from Beckley, West Virginia. It is described as over 6 feet tall, with a black body, 4 yellow eyes with no pupils, and sharp teeth.
Yeah, no, it's a
So,
very large, almost Sasquatch-like creature with 4 glowing eyes.
so my first sighting that I was able to find was in 2001, and not for nothing, my only sighting, my sightings all come from the same people.
Yeah.
So, Charlie, if you have anything before that, let's start with you.
So yeah, I have some loose descriptions of sightings dating back to like 1930s, and it's
Oh wow, okay.
yeah, and it was all basically coal miners and people in the Fireco camp, which is as far up the hollow as you were likely to get in the car in the 1930s. So
Okay.
it's yeah, basically it's just like a kind of camp out in the woods, and they said if you go up in the woods you'll see this creature out there, and those were the first descriptions of the Beckley beast came from. But those descriptions varied a lot, so I've noticed like some of them said it was a 10-foot tall creature with the 4 glowing yellow eyes, and some people said it was
Right.
a 3-foot tall creature with glowing yellow eyes.
It, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a mom and a baby.
Yeah, well, it could be something like that. Those were the first sightings in like the 1930s. I think 1936 was the first one, stretching up to like 1940s, 1950s, and then there was like some sporadic one-off sightings since then. But the biggest ones, I believe, was in 2001. Right? That's probably the family you're going to talk about, right?
Right. That's the family that I have.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean you can get into that now because all the settings in between, like the original 1936 settings and 2001 sightings, weren't very descriptive, and some of them seem kind of fabricated. So
Like fabricated, like hoaxy, or just like for attention.
yeah, like I think somebody said that he ran into it, but also had no scratches. It's like the same thing as the dude that said he fought the Blue Devil. So it
Or
was
or the hillbillies that said that the Snallygaster landed in
yeah.
their moonshine.
Yeah. So, but
Okay.
yeah, the one that you're going to talk about now, I actually, did read. There's a lot going on with that
Yes.
isolated group. So why don't you break into that real quick?
Yeah. So I'm gonna take the kind of a cop out. I'm gonna paraphrase the article that this girl wrote. This was published on the the Cryptid Society website, and right, Cryptid Society, I think it was on.
Yeah, it was
Yeah, National Cryptid Society.
.org.
.org.
That's
So
the
you can go
.org
check
one?
it out yourself.
Yeah.
We'll post the link in the Discord.
National Cryptid Society also has a YouTube channel where they take all of their articles and pretty much just turn them into like audio stories. So
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I actually didn't know that.
yeah, I'll post-
Maybe there is a crossover coming in the future. Who knows? Maybe
Yeah.
maybe if we get cool enough.
Yeah.
So yeah, make sure you like, subscribe, and follow on all that kind of cool shit so we can talk to the National Cryptid Society. So this was written by a girl named Raven, and she sent it in an email to the National Cryptid Society talking about her experiences with the Beast of Beckley because she was not able to find anything about it, and she was hoping that the Cryptid Society would able to kind of explain it for her. So I'm just gonna read this. I kind of paraphrased it and cleaned it up and cut out all the fluff. But
Yep.
for years, there's been something stalking the woods surrounding the area where I grew up. The first encounter was by my younger brother, sometime around 2001. My mother received a phone call from my grandmother around 8 o'clock one summer evening, asking her to come down and pick my brother up. Grandma lived just a minute's walk down the dirt road from our house, easily within view of the front porch, so asking my mom to come down and get my brother personally was odd. When my mom brought my brother home, he was in tears. He claimed he saw a creature while he was playing in the yard. He said it was black with yellow eyes, over 6 feet tall, and was smiling at him with sharp teeth. It was days before he slept normally again. Mom and Grandma chalked it up to him seeing a bear that had wandered up from the woods, and the rest was either his imagination or the bear had maybe been baring his teeth at him. I did too for some time, until a few years later, when I told the story to a friend of mine that was staying over one weekend. She was intrigued, and, being silly teenagers, we decided to venture out into the woods after dark. We approached the edge of the woods that bordered my grandparents' property, but I lost my nerve and had a bad feeling in my stomach and decided not to go any further. My friend left me behind and headed down the hill into a clearing while I remained by some chestnut trees. I sat there for a few minutes, singing quietly to myself to calm my nerves, when I looked over at a nearby bush and noticed a crouching black form with 4 yellow eyes staring back at me. I scrambled to my feet and called for my friend, who ran back toward me. She slipped on some mud and fell right in front of the creature, distracting it for only a second before its eyes returned to me. I pointed at the eyes and asked her if she was seeing what I saw, not believing my own eyes. She confirmed that she did, and like a fool, I reached for a fallen tree branch and took a step toward the thing. It roared at me, unlike any other thing I've heard in my life. We turned tail and ran as fast as we could back to my house. I didn't dare turn to see if it had followed us. We returned the next day to find gashes in some of the surrounding trees, like huge claws had torn into them. There was no other sign of the monster we had seen. Afterward, the entire experience felt like a hazy nightmare for both of us. And so, foolish teenagers that we were, we continued to venture out after dark whenever my friend came to visit, hoping to find another glimpse of the creature. We told no one of our first encounter for fear of being written off as my younger brother had been. I avoided telling my brother, especially because I didn't want to scare him or make him feel like I was teasing him. We spotted it several times after that, over some years, usually from afar, since we tried keeping a safe different distance from the woods after the first time. There were many times I could swear I could feel its presence outside after dark, usually when the weather was warm. It always lurked in the shadows, always out of reach at any light, noticeable only by those yellow eyes. The most troubling thing of all was that the creature seemed to follow me wherever I went. Several occasions occurred when my friend and I encountered it while we were visiting her house across town. Another time, I could have sworn I felt its presence while we were visiting family in South Carolina, later confirmed by my brother. On several occasions while at my friend's house, we saw its eyes from the tree line glaring at us. I tried again to approach it a few times, but always was unable to get very close for fear of my own personal safety. I never could see more of its form than its eyes. It always felt like they just floated there in the dark. The last sighting I had of the creature personally was in November of 2011, when I came home after seeing a midnight movie showing. It was close to 3 in the morning when I came home that night. I stopped in the kitchen to get something to drink before bed, and I saw it through the dining room window. The best view I'd ever gotten in my years of dealing with it. It was just outside the fence around our yard, standing in front of my dad's truck, just a short way away from the front door. It towered above the vehicle. I couldn't see any other defining features in the darkness. To me, it was just a hulking humanoid figure that was almost as black as the night around it. But that was all I could see, just a tall, abyssal form. Its eyes pierced me through the window. It was only a few seconds that we stared at each other, and yet somehow it felt like hours. And then it ran out of sight towards the woods, faster than anything I've ever seen. I felt sick, and I kept looking outside to see if I could spot where it had gone. Minutes after that, my dad came into the room getting ready to leave for work. He asked me what I was doing, and I could only tell him that I saw something outside since I figured he'd think I was crazy if I told him the truth. I watched him go down to his truck to leave for work just in case. Nothing happened. 4 years later, in 2015, I moved out of my parents' home and away from the woods to a more populated part of town. I've thankfully not had any experiences where I'm currently staying, but things still persist back at home. Both of my brothers say that they've started hearing roars and screams in the night coming from the woods. My youngest brother claims to have seen it recently, in February of 2019, but given my experiences, it's odd for it to be out around this time of year. They've seen strange lights outside in the woods, and the youngest one says he's heard screeching coming from the area of the woods where I most often saw the creature. I've tried to research creatures that fit the description of what lurks in around my parents' home, but nothing ever turns up about a yellow-eyed black creature. I hope that others with similar experiences might come forward and allow me to narrow down just what this thing is. It's been haunting me for years, and right now it doesn't look like it will be letting up anytime soon. And then, as of 2020, there have not been any new sightings. So that's the story of the family.
Yes, the one family, yes. Who have seemed to be haunted by this cryptid. Yeah, also, there was I forgot to mention this before, there were some descriptions of the monster's capabilities. So it killed livestock, mainly. That was like one of the main things it was doing in the area.
Okay,
and
as most cryptids seem to do.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's easy prey for them, I guess. They said he was able to rip the head off of a pig. Like, that's how strong he was, so.
Okay.
Yeah. Ridiculous. Pretty cool stories. I mean, it seems like it wasn't well documented earlier. This family has really put a lot of time into talking about the incidences. So.
Yeah, it's almost like it's like a personal ghost. Almost.
Yeah,
it's been like stalking them around as they leave and just kind of always in the shadows.
Yeah.
Either that or the daughter's like schizophrenic or something.
Yeah, either that. No, it is cool. I still find it hard to give credit sometimes to one continuous sighting over a long period of time, though.
because that almost feels like a fame grab. Kinda.
Yeah, and I don't know a lot of cryptids that kind of behave like that, where they haunt one individual person. Because most of the time, they're more of minding their own business types of creatures.
Right.
Because that's how they remain unknown, in a sense.
Right. The one thing though that does kind of give it a little bit of merit to me is that this is a long continuous sighting story, but it's a long continuous sighting story that was posted to a cryptid site, not newspaper.
Yeah.
So this is only going to people of like mind. It's not as much of a 15 minutes of fame as it is like, hey, help me, I don't know what's going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if that whole thing that I read was from a newspaper article, then yeah, I think that would be a little bit discrediting and a little bit less impressive or important in any way. But it being on a cryptid site, like a cryptid society site, kind of gives it a little bit more kind of meat.
Yeah, that's true.
So
yeah, cool.
So now, Charlie, I'm not even gonna ask you if you can fight this thing. How would you fight the Beast of Beckley?
All right, so depends on what description we're kind of going off of. So if you want to go based off of,
let's go with the 6 foot plus version.
6 foot plus. So he's not the 10-foot version or the 3-foot version.
Yeah,
basically, I'm in a
middle of the round.
sense I'm fighting a 6-foot Sasquatch with claws,
with 4 eyes,
with 4 eyes. Yeah. So with yellow eyes
and big teeth,
and big teeth. And big teeth. Yeah. So. I don't know, man. I feel like I would just punch the crap out of it. I feel like I could outpunch a Sasquatch, like easily.
I mean, to be fair, other than the few things that you said about it killing livestock, it's not known to attack or be violent.
Yeah,
it like roars at people.
Yeah,
I don't
roars
really
at people.
know if it defends itself. It just kind of seems like the clawing at the trees and all that is almost like marking territory.
Yeah,
like the way that like deer do with their antlers and shit.
Yeah, I mean, it'd probably be similar to fighting a bear.
Oh, yeah, like a lanky bear.
Yeah, like a lanky bear. It's been known to be able to rip the heads off of pigs, so I'll make sure I don't bring any pigs with me.
Don't snort or oink near it.
Yeah, don't oink near it at all. Don't pretend to be a sheep. Dude, we should bring the sheep squatch out here to fight this thing. That would be it. That'd be a battle of the ages. I don't know, dude.
That would be impressive.
It's pretty large too, so I don't know, man. I feel like I would just take my bets and smacking it around. That'd be the best way to do it. But
all right,
yeah,
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, just beat the crap out of it. Yeah.
All right, I think it's time to give this thing a rating.
Okay. Let me get the pen and paper out.
I will get Math Duck ready.
You get Math Duck ready. All right, man. How real is this?
To be honest, it's tough. It's got a little bit of merit because this story that I read out was posted to a cryptid site, not like a newspaper or anything. So it's not somebody trying to get their 15 minutes of fame and be in the Beckley paper or something. But at the same time, like, people post on Reddit and 4chan and shit all the time to try and just get people to look at them.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
But for the same thing to be seen from the 1930s to then 2020, that gives it some points. But at the same time, this could also be like it was being seen in the 1930s, and this girl was like, "Ooh, I can make up a story about seeing it all the time."
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give it a 2.
Shit. All right. Here is a problem that I have. Whenever I get these, it was a cryptid in the 1930s, and then all of a sudden it was seen again 60 years later. Right. I try to think of what could have possibly happened in that huge gap of time where this cryptid just decided not to exist and then to exist all of a sudden and be seen. And
why did it disappear for so long?
Yeah, and then to only be seen by the same people for a few years is kind of difficult for me to take too much faith in. And the other huge problem is when I see a cryptid that was sighted by somebody who claims to be cryptid fan or something like that, or like cryptozoologist, it's a little bit sketchy there. Because I take a lot of faith in somebody who doesn't know about cryptids, who sees something crazy, and they're like, oh my god, what the hell did I just see? And I take, because that person's not, he's normally not making up a lie. He normally saw something, and he's like, what the hell did I just look at? But who would make up a lie about cryptids is somebody who's also really into cryptids. and would say that they saw a cryptid in the cryptid group that they're already in. And that's not me, like, just openly, like, saying that, oh, this person's lying. It's just, I take that into account when I consider stories. So...
That's a very fair point.
Yeah. So, with all of that being said, the 1930s accounts, which have very loosely been documented, but have also very varying descriptions of the creature, I would say I give this guy a 1.2. Because...
Oh, wow, okay. You're going real low.
No, yeah, because could they have... The only accounts that I'm really taking into consideration are the ones prior that we don't have a lot of information about. All we know is that people saw something in the woods that looks, out there. Yeah, something scary. Right. So, I don't know, man. Yeah, 1.2.
Okay. 1.2. I mean, that's fair. Everything you're saying makes a lot of sense. So that's totally fair. Okay, so Charlie, how cool do you think this thing is? Right? Next is cool?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, he's cool. He's cool. He's not, like, ridiculously cool, because he's a Sasquatch-like guy. Over 6 feet isn't quite Sasquatch territory, normally. It's normally, like, an 8-foot creature. 8 foot and above. He's a short Sasquatch. 4 eyes is cool. 2.4. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I don't think he... Look, if there was more on him and we knew that this dude would run around and slap donkeys in the face and do jumping jacks or do, like he did something. What is this guy doing right now? He's just kind of roaring at people, scraping trees and
ripping heads off pigs, apparently.
Yeah. Like, Sasquatch have, like, their own, like, activities that they do, They're, like, known for being evasive, or they have, like, their own, like, habits. This guy we really don't know much about, and it's just kind of, like, I can't really say he's too cool.
I get where you're coming from that, because I kind of agree with you. He's really not that cool. He's just this black mass with 4 eyes. I do like the eyes, though. The 4 glowing eyes kind of elicit this kind of spider-like face to it, almost in your head, and then not having any pupils or anything like that. Like, it's just glowing yellow light coming from his face. That's kind of neat. So it gives him some points for me. But I think I'm just gonna come a little above you and say 2.5. 2.5.
All right. Our final category. How original is this cryptid?
Dude, there's a dime a dozen of big black monster that I could barely see that has glowing eyes. You know what I mean? Like, there's even a Bigfoot variant called Big Red Eye. That's the same thing. Yeah. So 0.6.
0.6.
There's nothing to it that's anything special. The glowing, the 4 eyes makes it something, and that's why it's not less. But there's really not a lot to make it unique.
Yeah. Nah, dude, this guy... There's so many... Yeah, no, there's so many like him. There is so many out... It's Sasquatch with teeth and claws. It's like sheep squatch, or it's pretty much the same thing as sheep squatch minus the sheep fur and horns.
I don't know. Sheep squatch had a lot more going for it and a lot more stories.
Oh yeah, well, sheep squatch, that a little bit more validity to it. It actually had that sulfur scent. So it's all right.
Yeah,
not quite. I'm not shitting on
drag sheep squatch.
There's a reason.
Beast of Beckley sucks.
There's a reason that sheep squatch is going to be getting a higher score than Beast of fucking Beckley. So yeah, man, it's not very original at all. I couldn't see how it could be more unoriginal in a sense. But yeah, I'll give it a 0.5 because
0.5, okay.
Yeah, just because they
this guy is gonna be the most abysmal rating we've had so far.
Yeah, dude, it sucks because I don't like to give cryptids low ratings. I like to give cryptids high ratings. It's your local cryptid, but this guy, man, this guy is not real.
This is why we're here. We are here to talk about everything, not just the cool ones.
Yeah.
We talk about the ones that also totally suck. Because there's so many to cover, and we're gonna get to all of them. If you came here just expecting Bigfoot and the Loch Ness monster and the Chupacabra, I'm sorry, we're gonna get to them eventually. But there's so much more to cover out there in the world that you don't even know exists, dude. So let's give this. What's this guy's full rating?
All right, let's do some math. Is the math duck ready?
Math duck is ready.
2 plus 1.2 plus 2.5 plus 2.4 plus 0.6 plus 0.5. Oh, God, this is terrible.
What's our final rating?
The total is 9.2. Sub 10. Oh, my God.
Yikes.
That is terrible.
And that makes the Beast of Beckley officially our biggest loser of the year.
Yeah. No, he is a
And we are
bad cryptid.
only in February.
Yeah. Dude, the problem with this cryptid, man, it's just there's not enough on him. There's not enough out there. Because I bet he could be a really cool cryptid. He could be. I don't know. Yeah, there's not enough. The recorded sightings are really hard to find. And one family's accounts is difficult to believe. I'd be interested to talk to them, though. That'd be cool. And actually, like...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, maybe we should reach out. Be like, hey, you guys want to talk about this?
I mean, if they were down to it, I would love to. But the chances of seeing this are pretty slim at the moment. I don't know. If you guys keep liking, subscribing, and following, and all that other cool shit, do that, and then we might find them. Yeah, no, this one was. I don't want to say a dud because nothing we've covered has been a dud, but this was. There was not much to this one, unfortunately, and there's not much coming out of it.
Yeah.
Our sub 10 score for the first. I think that's the first one.
That's the first.
Since we've done the new rating system. And that's a rough break there, buddy. Sorry, Mr. Beckley.
Oh man.
If you somehow have internet out there in the woods of West Virginia and you're watching this, Mr. Beast of Beckley, please don't come after me. I'm sorry that we gave you a low rating. You just kind of suck.
Oh god. We should drive up there though. We should go there.
Oh my god, absolutely.
Check it out. If we're going to West Virginia, we're gonna hit up all of these.
We're checking them all.
Yeah,
we're going we're gonna go hunt the Sheep Squatch, the Beast of Beckley, Mothman, and all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cryptid Files tour coming your way at some point, eventually in the future of some time.
Yeah. Soon. We should get a hearse and paint it yellow.
No, that would be dope.
Yeah.
Oh my god. If you're lurking and you're not following us, do that. Follow us on all of our socials. We are on Facebook. We are on Instagram. We are on TikTok. We are on Twitch. Obviously, we are even. Do we have a subreddit, or you just post on Reddit, Charlie?
I have a subreddit, I think.
And we have a subreddit.
Yeah, I post a lot in the that cryptid page too. There's a cryptids Reddit group you guys should check out. Really cool. Lots of cryptid sightings on there.
Go follow us everywhere. DNR Paranormal. Sometimes it's with an underscore. Sometimes it's with a period. Sometimes with a space. But it's always that. You can find us all over the place. Join our Discord. The link is in our Instagram bio, and we chat there. We share TikToks and memes and games and all this other cool shit that are cryptid and paranormal related. We chat about bullshit. It's cool. We shared pictures of Sexy Mothman one time. That was interesting.
Asked a question about Texas today. Yeah.
Yes, we talked about Texas, and if Texas was in Texas, would it be bigger than Texas? Because everything's bigger than Texas. Yeah, go check it out. Go check out our merch on Designs by Humans. Search up DNR Paranormal, or follow the links that we post in our Discord. If you're in there, we put up all of the podcast art becomes shirts and hoodies and other cool shit. So we have awesome stuff in there, and that's made by my girlfriend's daughter, Bryn, and she does a great job. So yeah, go check out all of our stuff. Follow us everywhere. Like us everywhere. So that's it for the Beast of Beckley and this episode of the Cryptid Files.
Catch you later.